It is another sporting Sunday la ku Beyond Boundaries. Sinamkelo igama lami Samkelo kaGatebe. Eceleni kwami, my main man, Tips Shampooniza.
Yes.
That's all, folks.
Yes, that's all. As you can see, I'm wearing like a sweater, and you're thinking, yo, he's getting what? No. I had flu, but flu is gone. I don't want to be that rock and roll guy who all of a sudden, after flu, now I'm wearing a vest. So I'm trying to be safe. Safety first, eh?
Okay. Because it can be confusing at home for people watching. Is it hot or is it cold?
Just hold on to the TV, touch the TV. Whatever temperature is on the TV, that's the temperature at home. But welcome to Beyond Boundaries, man. We're doing it again. This is a Sunday. As you can see behind us, we are here. We are supporting cricket.
Yeah,
but
this is a special type of cricket.
This is blind cricket. And as you know, we've had Kenny in studio some time ago, but we decided to follow up because we can't leave you hanging. We're following up on the stories, and we're having a jam-packed show for you.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, it's important to understand. We had him in studio, but we never really got the practical side of blind cricket. So vandaag we are here, we're going to learn about it. We're going to make sure, again, we understand the ball that makes a noise, the bat, how does it work? We're going to try it out.
And you know what? Everything that we do must always keep you up. It has to make you feel positive. So I'm going to leave you right now. I'm going to look for a feel-good story because we are happy. We are outdoors. It's spring.
It has sprung.
Exactly. Let me go look for like a feel-good story because you're going to see more of us doing outdoor things.
Right. So while he goes and he finds a feel-good story, Uvele, and after the feel-good story, will come and give us the news. Otherwise, the show is going to be an amazing one. We also got the athletics a bit later on the show. So stay tuned. Tipsy, go get that story, Baba.
In the build-up to the Olympic and Paralympic Games, the LOC have a beautiful visual campaign which features sport heroes and iconic Tokyo landmarks. The latest, the incredible Matt Stutzman, the American record breaker known as the Armlesss archer.
Life in Fairfield, Iowa, for the most part, is really relaxing. It's just your average small town. A typical day for me is waking up in the morning about 7 o'clock. Kind of wake up for the day a little bit, I check my emails. Then I hit the range. Then I go home at 4 o'clock. The kids come home, play with them for a while outside, have supper, go to sleep, wake up, start the day all over again.
Where do you want it?
We're just going to set it right here in line with 100 yards. I come down to Wapello every once in a while. I will blank bail, is what they call it, for about the first hour and a half. At that point, I'm checking to make sure my breathing is the same every time, the way I hold the bow is the same every time, the way I release with my jaw is the same every single time. When I feel comfortable that I got it, I'll move back to 70, even 80 or 100 yards, and I'll shoot a scoring round to simulate the tournament coming up. I started 2 years ago, and at that point I set a goal that I wanted to be the best archer that I could be. In fact, I would like to be the best archer in the world. And so I worked on it, and that's all I did was eat, breathe, sleep, archery, and I shot. And when my body told me to stop, you're tired, I just kept on going. I'm pretty proud of my accomplishments, yes. The stuff that I'm doing with my feet in a sport that usually you don't see somebody without arms doing and accomplishing is pretty fantastic, I should say. Makes me feel very proud of.
Take my socks off.
I would have to say the difference between me and the average Joe is the average Joe has arms, and I don't. On the same note, my feet are my arms too now, and every day I walk on my hands. When it comes to driving or even eating or something like that, I have to kind of, especially when I was younger, I had to figure out how I was going to be able to do that stuff.
We're dipping eggs for Easter.
Put your arm over my neck. There you go. Being a family guy is important for me. I really want to be able to support my family and make sure that they have, things in life that they need. So that drives me a lot to be able to give my kids the stuff that they need, and I'm willing to work towards that and do what it takes to get there. Anything is possible, disability or not. You can do anything you put your mind to.
US Open USTA Wheelchair Championships, the final event of the Six Tournament Super Series calendar for 2019, saw South Africa's Kgotatso Montjane in another doubles final. Fresh after a Grand Slam runners-up finish in the US Open, Montjane teamed up with Great Britain's Lucy Schuker. The fourth-seeded pair shocked second seeds Dana Mathewson of USA and Dutch partner Marjolein Buys in the semi-finals. Diede de Groot and Annick van Coort were handed the trophy when the final did not take place and it was a walkover due to an injury to Montjane. Get better soon, champ. Pieter du Preez won bronze in the UCI Paracycling Road World Championships men's H1 time trial. He ended 1 minute and 30 seconds from Italy's Fabrizio Cornegliani, who was fastest over the course in Emmen. The only lady on the six-member South African team, Tony Mould, ended 6th in both the road race and the time trial, but was happy with an average speed PB in the time trial. Goldie Fuchs ended 9th, but in the world ranking points in the men's T2 time trial. Pilo Verlaat ended 21st in the men's C2 time trial, and in the C3 category, Johan Oerendal ended 20th. Team South Africa may not have returned from the World Para Swimming Championships with a medal, but a number of African records were set by the team. In the final of the S750-meter freestyle, Christian Seidi posted a new African record of 29.10 seconds to finish the event in 6th place, while the gold went to Ukraine's Andrei Trusov in a new world record time of 27.07 seconds. Sadie also set a new African record when he finished just outside of the medals in the SM7 200-meter IM in 2 minutes 38.35 seconds. In the 100-meter breaststroke event, Sadie sliced more than 2.5 seconds from his PB to set a new African mark. The Commonwealth Games silver medalist started off his meet with a continental record in the men's 50-meter fly. Congratulations, Christian Sadie. Franco Smit also set new African marks in the S12 class for the 50-meter free and the 100-meter backstroke. South Africa's Eleni Ferreira also kept the continent's record keepers busy with an African record in the women's SM13 200-meter IM with a time of 2 minutes 49.15 seconds. Ferreira set a new African record in the 100-meter breaststroke event to go with her record on day 1 of the championships, a 5 minute 05.55 seconds in the women's 400-meter S13 race. Tokyo 2020 organizers sprinkled artificial snow on spectators at its test events in a bid to keep visitors cool in blistering temperatures expected during next year's Olympic and Paralympic Games. Artificial snow is the latest strategy being considered to counter high humidity and summer temperatures that commonly exceed 30 degrees Celsius in July and August when the Games are scheduled in the Japanese capital. Tokyo organizers have tried other measures, such as vapor sprays, having shaded or air-conditioned rest areas, and distributing water and ice packs during a beach volleyball test event in July. Tokyo held a marathon event last week, which was widely seen as a test case for whether organizers, athletes and spectators can cope with sweltering temperatures expected, with Tokyo hosting the Summer Olympics and Paralympics next year. The race featured tents equipped with mist machines for spectators. Officials handed out ice cubes and ice scarves to families waiting in the sun. At some of the rest stops, officials said they also plan to give out plastic handheld fans. The 17th annual Otanikwa Wheelchair Challenge brought hundreds of people with disabilities together at George in the Southern Cape. It's the first and only race of its kind in the country. About 150 competitive athletes and nearly 300 fun riders participated this year. A first-time competitor, 34-year-old Johan van Rensburg from Benoni, won the main 42-kilometer race. Van Rensburg was paralyzed in a car crash in 2009. He participated with his hand cycle in cycle tours before, but says this is the first time competing in an event solely for people with disabilities.
Dit is net, ek glo almal moet by mekaar kom. Dis waar mense nuwe mense ontmoet. Dit is waar ouens wat onlangs ongelukke gehad het, waar hulle kan begin. Waar hulle mense kan ontmoet. So ek sal almal aanraai om hierdie kant toe te kom. Is regtig moeite werd. Die atmosfeer is awesome.
12-year-old Zach Rauch Legwood from Pretoria won the 10-kilometer race for the 5th time. He had a slim chance of survival due to complications at birth, but he overcame the odds and started hand cycling when he was 7 years old. The OCC is usually held earlier in the year, and next year it will go back to being held in February.
For all the kids out there that has disability like me, my motto is there's always a way around your disability no matter what. And I mean, if you really want to do something, you can do it. Always believe that.
So bafethu njengoba nazi ukuthi la ku Beyond Boundaries sizama ukuthi sifunde ngayo yonke indlela. There are so many different types of sporting codes and ama adaptations wakhona as well. We need to understand and we need to learn ukuthi sisebenza kanjani. So with the blind cricket, you've got the ball which makes this noise so that the blind players can hear, and there's so many other adaptations as well. And ngaloko we've got Max Getsen ukuthi azositshela ukuthi blind cricket isebenza kanjani. Max, welcome to Beyond Boundaries, buddy. Are you well?
Thank you for having me.
From normal cricket to blind cricket, what are some of the major differences or adaptations between the two sports?
Right, so I would say that we more or less abide by the normal rules. There's just the main adaptation, as you say, is the ball. Because it's got the ball bearings, it's a lot easier for the guys who are completely blind to hear it.
Yeah.
The main one is the one that we also swing the ball unarmed, not because obviously with the ball traveling over arm, it's a lot harder to hear. Just because the vibration is a lot closer to the ground, they can hear it a lot quicker. So then the other one that is also the biggest one is the keeper, who in the state of if the player is a B1 or who's completely blind, he will be able to hear the keeper because he's calling him to let him know that the stumps are here. So if he's bowling, that way he knows exactly which direction to bowl. So if you're listening, you would have heard the keeper call out the completely blind guy sometimes. And yeah, I would say the main one is also just we play normal pitches, we play the normal MCC laws, which we abide by. So Duckworth Lewis, we've got LBW, we've got runouts, we've got normal wickets, we've got throwouts. We've abided by every other law, just with the adaptations.
With what I've noticed as well is the way that they bat. They sometimes seem to go on one knee, or that the bat is not in the air. So what's that difference about?
Yeah, so it's a makeshift way, because in the normal game that you've got your cover drive, you've got your straight drive, you've got your cover drive, and most of your other shots that you can play. However, in this game you also sort of have to adopt your shots. So in the normal game you would have a minimization of sweeping sometimes, so that you would normally play on the sweep. However, yeah, it's a lot easier to play because it's rolling on the ground. Just for us, we try to adapt it in any way we can. So we do try to train guys with obviously with the sweeping first.
Yeah.
And then we move them on to any other fancier shots they would like to play, and anyway they would like to adapt to the game. Yeah.
Now, is it always a rule that when you bat, it has to be flat on the ground?
Yeah, I would say that that's an easier way to do it. The only way that would normally come into play is when the ball has been released. It's just an easier way for them to get into the right position, because if I'm batting like straight bat, it's a bit straining on the back. Yeah. So that way, once you've got stability for the shot, then it's a lot easier on the back.
All right. And then when it comes to the wickets, they're not the normal wickets as well. Is it like this as well when you are playing competitions?
Yeah. So this is actually what they play with in international as well, because the way that it is, so the material that we do use is steel. Just with the coloration, it's very, as you may have seen, is very neon orange with a little bit of white. So that also just gives a distinction for the guys with sight, so we can just see it. More or less for the B1s, that's where the keeper, they rely on, so he then becomes their stump. So you can hear where the stumps are and just follow it on to the stumps.
Now, tell us something that we don't know about the South African team, because earlier on we had a discussion about the achievements that we've had as blind cricket South Africa. So for people at home who don't know how big the sport is and how successful it is, can you just give it to them at home?
I would say the succession of the South African team has always been, I wouldn't say the roads have always been easy. We've always looked to get to international standards the same as any other normal team. We do have had achievements. So in the very first World Cup, we did win the World Cup. The follow-on through, we just saw that other international countries were working on adapting their style of cricket. So the type of brand of cricket has moved along very quickly. So especially when we watched the IPL came out, we saw there was a bigger platform for cricket. So guys wanted to play a lot more fancy shots. They wanted new technology in terms of cricket. So I would say in our achievements, we've worked to get back to the standards where we won the World Cup. But obviously with that, there's a lot of performance that would be key to that.
Yeah.
Because we find that each World Cup that we work up to, there's a lot more competition. There's a lot more drive in the countries that we face. And yeah, it's just the growth that we're looking forward to.
Look, we're going to make sure that we continue following cricket, and hopefully that you guys can go to a level where you win the Cricket World Cup once again, and hopefully we are there for that. Otherwise,
Definitely.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, guys, I mean, really, there's so much to learn. Yes, there's always going to be a difference when you adapt something, but we always find a way around it, and we enjoy it, and we make it competitive. This is Beyond Boundaries. Njengoba nazi ukuthi la kwi-Beyond Boundaries sinifundisa yonke into nathi sithi siyithole. So leli ibhola le-blind cricket, if you ever wondered what it sounds like, this is what it sounds like so that the blind players can hear it.
Watermelon hats and screams of "How's that?" are as much a part of the national sporting landscape as La Duma and Hikomi Boka. It only makes sense that the game is available to all, including the visually impaired. That's where the National Blind Cricket Association come in. South Africa won the inaugural Blind Cricket World Cup in '98, and despite a lack of sponsors coming on board in spite of their success, passion has continued to keep the sport alive and well.
Kenny, welcome back, my man.
I'm alright, my man.
No, I am happy that umnati. Now, for the people at home, I will again. Ukeni ubani, you are blind. What happened? How did you overcome that? How's the Nazumpan?
Yeah, well, my name is Kenny Mabela, Samkelo, and I hail from Soshanguve in Pretoria. I'm born blind. My eye condition is retinitis pigmentosa, and yeah, I was born blind. It's an hereditary disease. So yeah, I went to school and then went to go do music at varsity, and then after that I did a bit of law. For now, of course, I'm going back to school next year again because this year I just had to take a break. You know, we'll get into that later. But yeah, basically, how I wouldn't really say I overcome. You never really overcome blindness. You just become bigger than it, and by becoming bigger than it, you obviously embrace the challenges that are there, the curveballs, and you deal with them the way you can.
Yeah.
And life goes on.
You are also a musician. You've got a qualification in music. Ngapa, you cricket player. Can you just tell us more about that?
Look, with the music, bro, like I get a different opinion about me and music all the time. You know, for me, it's something that I grew up in. I grew up with as well. You know, something that so, and then obviously I got good training while I was still in my younger days, back at high school, got good training, and then went to varsity. Thought, you know, maybe there's something that I can do with this music thing. You know, it's what I do. So go to school and see what avenues are there in music. You know, everybody wants to be a superstar.
Yeah.
You know, whereas there's really a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, so we ufuna by superstar, but here you are wearing our national colors, wear blind cricket. Your involvement with blind cricket lies South Africa. Can you just tell us about that as well?
At the greatest level, I'm a player representing my country. That is the greatest honor of all, you know. And in our structure now, where you guys are, is the Northerns. You're looking at the Northerns Blind Cricket Club. I'm the president of this structure. Yes. So in that way, I'm an administrator as well. So this is, of course, the best space I think blind cricket can be. You know, when people who actually play the sport can get to be administrators, because we know the challenges on the ground. We know what we need to do. You know, how do you balance complaining versus action. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which one has to trump which one? The action always has to trump the complaining.
Yeah.
So we do what we must, we do what we can, and we let the game grow. You
Yeah.
know?
So, go national level, you're representing South Africa. I mean, what have been some of your greatest achievement with the national team?
Well, I'll never forget the first time I went to go bat for South Africa, you know, against Australia, and our team was in a bit of trouble. I'm actually so fortunate that, you know, I had a chance to bat with my fellow mate here, Henry. We were both debutant batsmen in that game. And then after that, after he got out, I got to bat with our captain, Sonwabile Bila, who was really a very calming presence for me in that first game. You can understand, you fresh in the team, here you are, your team is in trouble. You have to sort of try and get some sort of partnership going because there aren't too many wickets after that. So that for me was like one of the best games ever for me at the international stage. Yeah.
So you killed it then, Guleo level there. You now what can we still look forward to? What are you still hoping to achieve as a cricket player?
Let me say, as a cricketer, I don't want to talk to myself as a cricket player because I've got a bigger vision about cricket, about that even goes beyond what my ambitions are as a player. As a player, of course, I want to do the best for my country. I want to be able to perform at the highest level and, of course, help the country to get to some sort of silverware. But for me, I want to see blind kids in Pretoria, in South Africa, in Africa, playing blind cricket at a regular basis. And I would like to see African people embracing the sport, because what we often do is we hide blind people. We hide them behind spoiling them, behind taking them to shops and all that stuff. When this is where we train blind people, right here. What you're looking at right now is how we train blind people to be independent, to move around freely without any fear. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we need to, this is the sport that instills that confidence in a blind person to walk around where they need to, where they want to walk around, and get to where they need to get to. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Yeah. No, nguzwa kahle mfana. And I mean, it's very good ukuthi so much work is going behind, not just wena, but for abanye abantu. And we're going to make sure as well, as Beyond Boundaries, ukuthi uhambo lwakho siyalandela all the way, and also see abantu abakulandelayo. So all the best, Mfethu, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Samkelo. Always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure.
They only hear the ball and the strokes. Lighting in a day-night means little to them. The umpire is the only one who sees the game. They don't like cricket, they love it.
So Bafethu, we've come to the end of the show. It has been a fantastic show. There's so much esifundile kwishow yanamhlanje. I mean, Kenny is an inspirational and truly amazing gentleman. I mean, this guy, Munna.
Check my pose, yeah. I'm posing like a real cricketer. Like, you know, after today, I feel like I can do cricket. But you had a full good story, man. I mean, Sam has just told you guys, if you feel like things are not going your way, don't just sit back. Just go in there and do something with your life, because this is what we do here on Beyond Boundaries. Speak to us on Facebook, speak to us. Come watch YouTube.
Yeah, no, it's good YouTube, man.
YouTube.
You just go there, search Beyond Boundaries, uzosthola khona lapho sikhuluma. If you are not tired, because you can't get tired of such inspiration.
No. But
it's
you know,
not possible.
To inspire them more, let's show them. You know what? It's hard to do this. These people are blind and they just listening to the ball and they are hitting it. But because now I know things, so I'm gonna be the blind guy.
So
and then
you've learned something.
I've learned something. So I'm gonna take I'm gonna give you 10 yards, and then you will. I'm gonna close my eyes, as you can see, guys. I've closed my eyes.
10 yards, good tips. Just remember, Guguti la. We have learned. So are your eyes closed?
When should I stop?
Okay, stop.
Okay.
All right. And I'm going to throw the ball, all right?
Yeah. If I miss it, it's not a miss. It's just,
All right. It's coming.
Yeah.
Oh, this guys, uhlulekile. Clearly, I think ayifundile namhlanje. Sizonibona next week, and we're going to be bringing you even more athletics, more swimming, even more conversations that we had namhlanje in the weeks to come. So make sure you tune in with Beyond Boundaries every Sunday.
They are not disabled, they are differently abled. That's why I couldn't do that. This is Beyond Boundaries, this is you. Have a beautiful Sunday.
Yeah, that was terrible, too.
Arva.